Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much, Patrice, for having me here today. I also want to thank and recognize SHRM Foundation's President and CEO, also SHRM's President and CEO, Johnny C. Taylor Jr., who you all just saw in the video, for his vision and strategy for where he's taken SHRM, the profession of HR, and most relevant to today's convening this morning is where we're taking SHRM and SHRM Foundation's efforts to support second chance employment. SHRM has been committed to furthering second chance employment for several years, and I'm really honored to have been asked to share a perspective and talk with you all a bit about the resources that are open and accessible to you all this morning so that employers, HR professionals, and those in your communities can really activate a commitment to second chance employment. Just for context, a little bit about SHRM, the Society for Human Resource Management. SHRM is the world's largest professional society for human resource leaders. We have a really strong membership in the state of North Carolina. And as the voice of all things workers in the workplace, SHRM is a convener and a thought leader on issues that impact today's ever-evolving workplaces. We have more than 300,000 HR and business executive members in 165 countries, engaging 115 million workers and families globally. We exist to really help amplify SHRM's mission to elevate HR by mobilizing HR professionals to lead positive social change in the workplace through our investments in philanthropy and people. And a primary pillar of our work is focused on the development of strategies and programming that's specifically designed to help HR professionals provide equitable opportunities to individuals seeking the dignity of work and create and sustain inclusive workplace cultures. This, we know, will allow businesses and people to thrive in the communities in which we work and live. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, we know that U.S. businesses were experiencing one of the tightest talent markets in history. There were so many organizations struggling to find and retain the employees that they really need to succeed. And as we come back to grips with the impact that COVID-19 has had on the economy and the state of the labor market, we will still confront a mismatch between the talent we need to survive and thrive in a new economy and what our HR professionals are finding in the marketplace. As unemployment begins to decrease and the economy stabilizes, there are still stubborn talent gaps that have persisted from well before the pandemic. So one of the most effective, but we feel and find least utilized solutions to gaps in DE&I strategies is really to actively recruit and retain those individuals who are often, unfortunately and unfairly left out of consideration due to biases, misconceptions, that pool of untapped talent, and in this sense, certainly individuals with a criminal or conviction record. These individuals, as you've heard throughout the speakers and their comments this morning, all present unique opportunities and deliver valued organizations who are willing to make the effort to seek them out. Even prior to the global pandemic, many of these workers struggled to find work and wages they need to survive and thrive as a result of those barriers that they face to employment. So whether an individual has completed in a period of incarceration or has a criminal record, unnecessary barriers persist and are created thus a societal problem where productive citizens are deprived of employment opportunities and organizations are deprived of qualified talent, which creates a harmful downstream consequence for millions of people. As always, everything we do at SHRM and SHRM Foundation, our tools and our resources are evidence-based, rooted in solid research. And so I wanted to share a few statistics with you now. Some of them you're familiar with and have heard throughout the course of the morning, and some you may not be as familiar with. But in the U.S. alone, 1 in 3 adults has a criminal record. This is about as many people who have college degrees. As we heard, each year, over 500,000, nearly 700,000 people are released from prison, and most find themselves locked out of the job market, as we know. The unemployment rate of those formerly incarcerated is actually 5 times the national average. And without employment, as you've heard, reintegration into society can prove to be incredibly difficult, and those who are formerly incarcerated all too often find themselves back behind bars. So even just possessing a criminal record can carry major impediments to finding work. People with criminal records need reliable jobs just like everyone else, and individuals who have served their time should not be resentenced by the gatekeeper and the access to those individuals who are providing job opportunities. Those are businesses and HR leaders. And obviously, we've all talked about the business benefits that exist to hiring individuals with criminal records. And the business case is what we lead with, in particular, when talking with employers and with HR professionals. Before the pandemic caused so many job losses, there were 7 million open positions in the labor market and not enough skilled workers to find them. As I mentioned, the skills gap is not over. We've pressed pause, and we cannot afford to overlook willing talent because we know individuals with criminal records are loyal and productive. Our research shows that the turnover rate for employees with criminal records is about 13% lower than that of individuals without. And an overwhelming number of managers and HR leaders believe those with criminal records bring the same or greater value to a company as workers without records. Bringing adults with criminal records into the workforce simply makes economic sense, as Jeffrey talked about it, certainly other individuals touched on. Nearly $87 billion in GDP is lost each year by excluding these individuals from the job market. At the end of the day, we have to ask the question and address the question. When our economy recovers from the disruption and job loss due to the COVID-19 crisis, will we send this talent pool back to the unemployment line? And we say no, that they're deserving of jobs just as anyone else is, with the same skills and the same human potential. The good news is that SHRM's research also shows nearly half of HR practitioners in the U.S. believe that hiring an individual who has a criminal history should not be a deciding factor. The HR profession is on board. We have an opportunity as HR professionals, employers, to get folks on board. And what I love the most, I think, about what you all are doing today is the fact that you're partnering with your communities. So let's work together to get HR professionals and employers on board, because only 29% of organizations we surveyed currently partner with community-based programs related to the employment of untapped pools of talent. Though more than a third of HR professionals report that while their organization does not currently partner, they are so interested in doing so. The future is bright. And the point is that more employers are making the choice to begin to engage. So moving forward, 61% plan to partner with community-based organizations to provide additional services for untapped talent. And another 61%, they are planning to provide inclusive mentorship and networking opportunities. So we've talked a little bit about the why we should consider hiring the formerly incarcerated in your talent strategies and part of your talent management strategies within your organization, but you probably have questions as to how. And here's where SHRM and the SHRM Foundation can help. Our Getting Talent Back to Work initiative was originally launched in 2019 by SHRM, and it now operates in partnership with the SHRM Foundation. This initiative was created to really help ultimately end outdated, non-inclusive hiring practices and to get those with criminal histories a fair chance at employment. Our initiative, Getting Talent Back to Work, really calls on CEOs, HR executives and leaders, and other industry leaders to pledge to consider qualified individuals with criminal histories for jobs at their organizations. When our original initiative launched, we led with a pledge, as I mentioned, a pledge that asked employers and individuals to make a commitment to learn more and to take action. We released a digital toolkit, which has information, guidance, and tools needed for businesses to hire confidently from this untapped labor pool and to make a real social impact. There are things in the toolkit related to understanding legal factors around hiring workers with a criminal background, information about applying evidence-based best practices in hiring applicants with a criminal background, and practical guidance from industry leaders in acquiring, developing, and promoting talent, including workers with a criminal background. In late December 2020, actually, we completely relaunched Getting Talent Back to Work to include new tools, resources, marketing communications, and public relations strategies that you all can access free of charge and a scale to make your own to better tell the story and benefits of hiring individuals with criminal conviction records. And it has really, really taken off. We worked with subject matter experts like Patrice and the Center for Employment Opportunities to develop many of these materials. Primary components is a brand new digital toolkit, which is really a living library of the latest research resources and tools that you can use. Since the launch of the original toolkit, it's connected over 20,000 HR professionals to those resources, again, that they need to develop and implement strategies within their organizations. We've launched a new assessment tool. This gives HR professionals and business leaders access to a customized materials and reports that provide information and resources they've specifically identified were of interest and relevant based on a number of factors: industry sector, company size, anticipated barriers to implementation, etc. And since its original launch over the last few weeks, the assessment's been used by over 1,000 HR professionals. And finally, our newest resource to accompany our Getting Talent Back to Work suite of resources is our certificate program. This training was designed for HR professionals, hiring managers, and frontline supervisors, and is a 10-hour e-learning program that provides education and resources to equip HR professionals who complete the program with the information and confidence that they need to develop informed strategies that will actually activate the opportunity to hire and retain individuals from this incredibly valuable yet untapped pool of talent. And so I really, in closing, urge everyone to go to gettingtalentbacktowork.com to review the pledge, our resources, which again are accessible by all or to all and are free of charge, and take action. I thank you and so appreciate you joining us in this discussion today. I hope that you'll consider job candidates based on their merit and not on their mistakes. I also encourage you to call on other business leaders to join us as we take this step to give those deserving of a second chance the dignity of work and the drive toward better and more inclusive workplaces. Together, we have an opportunity to make a monumental impact to positively change lives and workplaces together. And together, we can build better workplaces leading to a better world. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your morning.